Shalom, shalom, Israel. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom to all the men and women who rehearse the righteous acts day in and day out. Shalom to you. Before we get started, I want to give all praises, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who are preaching and teaching this truth with humility and sincerity across the four winds of the world to you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the America and the speckled bird that are scattered across the four corners of the world that look like those from those other nations, but their lineage goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as well. Okay, so today's video, I might call it Judgment Is Coming. And the Spirit led me to do this video on judgment because here lately we have been hearing a lot about people having dreams and visions within the last month. And there's a lot of prophecy to back that up, as well as testimonies of people testifying all through social media that we are coming and we're getting close to judgment. Judgment is coming, okay? Judgment is coming here to Babylon the Great. In case you didn't know, this is spiritual Babylon here in America. It is spiritual Egypt and Sodom. Okay? So let's get started here. Let's get started talking about this judgment that's coming here to Babylon the Great. And it's going to start with the house of Yasharallah, with the house of the Israelites. Okay? And we're going to get that real quick. But first, let's start in Amos 5:18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? Okay? He's asking a question. Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it for you? Okay, you have a lot of these man-made doctrines that have been casted as a spell across the four winds of the world, of the doctrine of the beautiful day of the Lord, of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, right? Of so-called JC, more like it, you know, coming back, and everything's going to be all beautiful. The doctrines of men have persuaded people, right? They have deceived people to think that this is going to be a very beautiful day. It will be beautiful, but only for the hopeful elect, only for the sincere men who worship Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. But before that will be coming a great anguish, a great trouble, a great pain on the world before that happens. Okay? That's why the doctrines of men allowed by Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Yahweh have given them a spirit of false prophets and has given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see and ears that they should not hear. The real 100% unfiltered, raw gospel. Okay? Let's continue reading here. The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. As I just got done explaining, the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Okay? There's going to be a lot of anguish. Okay? These the arrows of the Lord are going to strike here Babylon the Great and cause a huge devastation, right? Intercontinental ballistic are coming here to Babylon the Great for all the iniquities that's caused throughout the ages, right? And all the sins of man. Okay? Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh. Okay? Woe unto you because you have been lied to all this time. You have been deceived to think the day of judgment is going to be a beautiful thing. No, judgment is coming here to Babylon the Great. Judgment is coming. And it's going to start in the house of Israelites. Why? Because you were given the law, statutes, and commandments. You are held more accountable, more responsible, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the America, because you were given the responsibility to be the standard and you fell off. That is the 100% true gospel. That is the gospel that they don't teach in your local church. Okay? That they're too scared to talk about because they're too worried about losing their visitors, losing their members, which pay a tithe, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a business to them. But we know this 100% true gospel is not a business to us, to the real men who serve Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai with humility and sincerity, which serve him with not the thoughts and intents of being profitable, but being the true messengers of the Lord and bringing this 100% gospel to the nation of Yasharallah, that they have an opportunity, unlike other nations, to be saved. This is what our message is day in, day out. Okay? Let's go here to Matthew 24 and 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor ever shall be. Okay, the greatest tribulation is coming here. It's coming here to the world. It's coming to Babylon in the spirit here in America. Okay? And it just got done identifying not since the beginning of the world to this time, right? Such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor ever shall be. And a great tribulation that's been documented historically, and more important, biblically, and more important, been prophesied and manifested here on earth, was the deluge, right? That was a great tribulation on the world, where Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai flooded the world, right? Completely flooded, right? Except Noah and his family. So there will be another greater tribulation than the day of the flood. The day that Noah warned everyone that this great flood was coming. Such a massive flood that it was going to completely devour, submerge the whole earth underwater. And Noah prepped and built Noah's Ark. And you know how the story went. Noah's family was the only one saved at that time. Okay? Well, this great tribulation is coming, worse than that. But this time it will be by fire. Okay? Nuclear missiles coming here to Babylon the Great and across the whole globe. Okay? No, nor ever shall be a day like this one. Okay, and this is prophecy that is going to happen. Okay, it is written throughout the whole scriptures. It is written in the book of Revelations and throughout all the books. Okay, judgment is coming here to Babylon the Great. And the only ones who have an opportunity will be the hopeful elect. The 144,000 will be the first to be beamed up and saved. Okay? Let's go here to 1 Peter 4:17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai? All right. For the time is come that judgment must begin in the house of God. Right. And the house of God is talking about the nation. Okay. And we could go into that word house real quick and get the transliteration and the Greek. And as you can see it right there on the left, oikos. Okay. This is the Greek transliteration for house. And we got several outline biblical usage for that word. And as you can see all the way at the letter A down here, the family of God. Right? The family of God. Of the church of the Old and the New Testament. The family, the stock, descendants of God. Right? Of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, descendants. The house. Look at the letter under the letter B, number 2. The house of Yahweh, the tabernacle. Right? The tabernacle. Let's go back here. That is the Greek transliteration, oikos. All right, let's continue reading here. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God? Right, making a separation between the true men who hearken into this 100% true gospel, right? And if it first begin at us, right, judgment's going to start with the house of Yasharallah. In case you didn't know, Yashar-Allah is the true ancient Hebrew name who the world ignorantly calls Israel. Yashar-Allah. Yah meaning he, Shar meaning prince, and Allah meaning power. He is the prince of power, okay? That was the name that was given unto Jacob when he received the promised land. Okay, you will no longer be called Jacob, but Yasharallah, okay? Yasharallah is the house. It's the family of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? And we could prove that here in a second. What shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God? Of course, we do know that the whole nation of Yasharallah won't be saved. Okay, we do know there's 2/3 of the nation of Yasharallah that is going to be hewn down. Okay? It's going to be cut off and thrown in the fire. Okay? For being wicked Israelites that don't hearken into this 100% true gospel, that love the world of Esau, Edom more than their own nation, and love Esau's, Edom's God more than Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Right? Love the world more than they love Yahweh Shai. Right? Doesn't scripture say, he who loves the world is no friend of mine? And he who loves me, meaning Yahweh Shai, the world will hate. And this is the judgment that's coming, where the world will hate the house of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai more and more. All right? For bringing this message out, for being true messengers of the Lord, and so forth. Let's continue reading here. Judgment is coming, and it's going to start with the nation of Yasharallah. Okay? With the house. Okay? And we could prove that house is talking about the family and the nation of people. And we could find that in the book of Numbers 1:18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families. Okay, they declared their pedigrees after their families. by the house of their fathers, right? According to the number of the names from 20 years old and up and upward by their polls. Okay? And this is when the congregation of Yasharallah was getting assembled, right? When we were, coming out of the Exodus from the house of bondage, which is Egypt. Okay? Because that's what Egypt means, is house of bondage. Okay? And let's go into the word where it says here, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of their names, right? Not their literal, just little family. And we could prove that. We're going to get the transliteration in the Hebrew, I believe it was, for the house, right? And there you have it. Hebrews 10:04. Okay? Bayath is the Hebrew transliteration. And as you see it right there, Bayath. Okay? Let's look at the outline biblical usage for house. And we've got a couple different definitions here. Let's go here to the letter B all the way to number 5. Right here in the Romans numeral, number 5. You go to the letter B. It says family of descendants. Descendants as organized body. Descendants of who? Descendants of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right, there is a lineage to this, unlike the world teaches. And we've gone over this plenty of times. Okay, the world, the doctrines of men want to deceive people into claiming that it's just a spiritual thing. No, that's false. It is both spiritual and there is a lineage, okay? Because we just got done reading in Numbers 1:18 that the congregation of Yasharallah, the chosen nation, was Yasharallah, okay? And they all, by their pedigrees of the last, by their tribes, because Jacob had 12 sons, right? So there's 12 tribes, all right, that make up the whole nation of Yasharallah, all right? The Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, all right, of Israelites. Family of descendants, descendants of an organized body, right? Family, the house, you see, family, the house. The household, family, those belonging to the same household. Family, descendants, there you go. Descendants of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? This is how they assembled all the congregation. Okay? And we could find that here. We could find that in Numbers 1:1 as well. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the tabernacle of the congregation on the first day of the second month, in the second year after they were come out of the land of Egypt. All right, who was coming out of the land of Egypt? The Israelites, right? Led by the hand of Moses, right? Which he was led by the hand of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, right? Were come out of the land of Egypt, saying, take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Yasharallah after their families by the house of their fathers, right? We just got done reading the transliteration for the word house, Bayath, right? With the number of their names, every male by their polls, right? And we do understand it's by the name of the males. Notice it says here, male, every male by their polls, okay? This is why to this current day, the whole world mostly has the father's name, because your lineage, your seed line comes through the men's seed, okay? It's not too hard to understand, okay? When you have a baby, they carry your last name, because the man is who carries, that lineage of the man. Okay? Who he is genetically as well, right? Who he is in the flesh as well as spiritually. Collectively make that individual's nation and who he truly is, okay? Let's go here to Amos 3:1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt. Right? We just got done reading in Numbers 1:1 that the whole family, the whole house, right, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, right? Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai using Moses to deliver the message of salvation from the house of bondage. This same very act will be done again here again with the true Hebrew Israelites that are in modern day Babylon here, Babylon the Great, okay? Against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, let's go to number 2, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities, right? This is why we are the nation that will be received judgment first. It's going to start with the house, like we just got done reading, with the family, right? We know who the family is. You out of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for your iniquities, right? Iniquities, all the sins we've committed, being disobedient, is going to start with you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the America, right? And this is why the wicked, the heathen, made up his doctrines of men so you could be led astray. You should be furious that you've been sold a lie and been deceived by these heathens here, right? Because you, out of all the families, you are the only one that has an opportunity for salvation. And a lot of people will huff and puff and get mad. But this is the unfiltered, raw, 100% true gospel. Okay, you have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for your iniquities, right? And this is how we know also that we have all the curses that are upon the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the America. And this is why we refer to you these subgroups as a so-called, because these are bywords that were given unto us by our enemies, by these other nations that hate our people, because their elites, their elite class know who we are, who truly we are. All right. This is why we just got done reading that punishment and judgment is coming to the house of God first. Okay, we just got done reading that in 1 Peter 4:17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai? What shall the end be of them? Right? Making a separation even within our own nation, right? 2/3 of the nation of Yasharallah, of Israelites, will be hewn down, cut off, completely annihilated. Now, they will have a chance to come back later through the loins of the men, of the elect men who are saved, Okay? But they will not receive salvation. Okay? These other, them that is talking about is other nations as well. Okay? It's not just 2/3 of the nation of Yasharala, along with the rest of the heathen nations, right? They weren't given the law, statutes, and commandments, right? They're not part of the family. That's why they don't have the curses. Now, they will get judged for the controversies that they've committed, right? The controversies against Zion, the mistreatment, the oppression, and how they collectively came together to go against our nation of people and have lied to our people and have destroyed our inheritance of who we truly are. But this is why we're coming into our awakening now. And things are shifting in the spiritual realm, and Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is prepping the world, right? Is prepping the nation of Yasharala for his second coming. Okay, let's go here to 2nd Ezra 6:56. As for other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them into a drop that falleth from a vessel. Right? This is what Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, the angel, had been speaking and showing Ezra's visions, right? And then the world will sell you on the doctrine that we all came from Adam. A lot of people, yes, all of us came from Adam, but different branches were made of Adam, right? And there's only one branch, okay? One nation of people that Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai chose, okay? He's only chosen the nation of Yasharala, the Israelites. All right, let's continue reading here. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. Right? And this is talking about the ruling wicked empires of this modern day, which are the Edomites and other nations as well, which are in power and lord over the Israelites. And they do devour us, right? They continuously oppress us every day, create, executive laws to harm us, to destroy our family, use the judicial branch to completely dismantle our family household, as well as any future, here in Babylon the Great. Okay, let's continue reading here in number 58. But we, the people whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. Right? We were given into their hands many centuries ago. Right? We were given into captivity. Right? We were taken as bondmen and bondwomen, as slaves. Right? The Jews, the southern kingdom of Yasharala, as well as the northern kingdom, were taken as captive, right? As slaves. And this is all historical facts and biblical facts as well that have been prophesied and have been manifested here on earth. Okay? Let's continue reading in number 59. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? Asking a question. Ezra was asking a question. You know, we were supposed to be the standard of all the world, right? This world was made for the nation of Yasharallah to be the ruling power, right? How long shall this endure is the question, right? So there will never be true righteousness on earth. There will never be true righteousness, true righteous judgment on earth, unless Yahushua comes back first and establishes the new governing body of the nation of Israelites. Okay? Hand chosen, hand picked by Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua himself. All right? Till then, we're all living under captivity. Even the heathens that are in ruling power, they still suffer negligence, right? They still suffer injustice at times, but not like the Israelites do. Okay? How long shall this last? How long shall this endure? Not for long, because we are living in the book of Revelations. We are living in the last times, in the last days. Right? We could prove that here, 2nd Ezra 6 and 20. The reason we know is this prophecy has been unfolding right before our eyes, right? This is how we know we're living in the last days, right? Let's go here to 2nd Ezra 6 and 20. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, and this vanishing away, the world is talking about here, in this context, is talking about the world of Esau, Edom, of the Edomites ruling power. All right. And when the world of Esau, Edom, ruling empire that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished. Right? Because if you go into that word world, it means cosmos. Right? That's the Greek transliteration, and is a form of an organized government is what it means. Okay? So not the actual literal earth is going to be destroyed. It will be destroyed, but not completely. It's going to be burned by nuclear missiles coming to Babylon the Great and across the globe. Okay, it's going to cause such a destruction. It's going to destroy the ruling empire of Esau, Edom. Right? Then will I show these tokens. All right, so this is how we know we're in the beginning of the vanishing stages of the world of Esau, Edom. Then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall all see together. And they shall see all together. Okay? And this is how we know we're in those times, because the technology of the internet, right? This is what the firmament is talking about. All right? If you have the spiritual wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, you can receive it in the spirit. You will know that in the spirit, this is the message that Ezra is given unto us. The book shall be opened before the firmament, right? And you can look up the word firmament, and you can see firmament is what divides the sky, the atmosphere of the earth, from the waters above. Okay? And they shall see all together. And there is where the satellites are, right? In the firmament, right? The satellites are in the heavens up there. All right? This is the only way we all are able to see books collectively together at the same time. It is impossible for millions of people to watch one book simultaneously at the same time. The only way that is possible is through the books that are under the firmament, via satellite, via internet. Okay? This is what it's speaking on. Right? This is how we know we're living in those days. And Ezra was given this vision by the angels. Right? This is how we know Esau, Edom is the wicked ruling empire. And, is the world, the vanishing world. Right? And we go here to Salakia for that. Here we go. Salakia, 2nd Ezra 6 and 7. This is how we know. When they ask the question, when shall we know? Till how long shall we endure this? Until the end times. And we are currently living in the end times where judgment is coming here to Babylon the Great. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Right? The end of this, talking about the end of the first world, the end of the first cosmos, right? The vanishing world of Esau, Edom, and the beginning of it that followeth, right, is Jacob, the world of the Israelites. Let's continue reading here in number 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, right? We do understand and know that Esau was born first. And this is what it was referring to. Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Let's continue reading here. For Esau is the end of the world. And Jacob, right? Jacob being Yasharallah, the 12 sons that collectively make the nation of Yasharallah, is the beginning of it that followeth it, right? This will be the new world coming, the true harmonious world, the true harmonious government, righteous ruling power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai has declared and has prophesied throughout all ages and times, and is still doing at this moment. And at this moment, as I speak right now, I'm speaking under the firmament, right? And showing the books and teaching the prophecies to the lost sheep of the house of Yasharallah, the only ones that have an opportunity to be saved. So I'm going to go ahead and end it with this. Before I go, I'm going to give all praises, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who are preaching and teaching this truth with humility and sincerity across the four winds of the world to you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the America, and the speckled bird. They're amongst those other nations that look like those from those other nations, but their lineage goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as well. Shalom, shalom.